Coming up on an all-new episode of B3rdPower. Join us this Monday as we sit down with Ronnie and Katina Robinson of Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart. Then, grief strategist Vernessa Blackwell is in the house, sharing with us tips on how to go through the grieving process. This is an episode you don't want to miss. An all-new episode starts now.
Hey.
Yes. Welcome to B3rdPower here on Urban Style Media. I am T Lynn the wholeness coach.
And I'm Sherri Cook, the motivator.
That's right. And we are your gracious host for this next hour.
Amazing, awesome.
Amazing, awesome, gracious.
All of that.
To be watched and paid attention to. Host for this next hour. How are you doing tonight?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We got G3 in the house playing them tunes.
Had
How
us over
are
here
you,
grooving.
We're good. Always happy to see you in the place.
Always good.
Providing the jams and the grooves.
We appreciate you.
So much.
Because you know you stay on the move.
I do.
Yeah, he said I do.
You know.
I'm surprised he didn't hop off to somewhere during the middle of the week.
I know.
You know, I know I didn't actually. No.
When do you go? What's your next move?
My next move, I will be in Atlanta. I will be in Atlanta, Georgia. So performing with the Fusion Band actually.
Okay.
So that's gonna be pretty fun. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stuff.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Oh, thank you so much.
And now we must do what we do best and catch up.
The catch up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are you up to? What did you do this past week?
This past week, same old, but this weekend was amazing.
Amazing.
Yes.
I want to hear all about it. Tell me
I
what
had
happened.
an awesome time. Brandon and his girlfriend came up from school.
Yes.
You know, he went back to
Hey,
school.
Brandon.
Hey, Brandon. Brittany wasn't able to make it. She was a little in her feelings.
Okay.
But she wasn't able to make it. But we went to the auto show.
Yes. How was that?
It was really nice.
Good.
It
I was
really
supposed to go last weekend, but Samaj was sick, so we didn't get to go. But yeah.
It was really nice. And it's always amazing to hear how much he knows just about old cars, new cars. He's always been into it, and he reads up on them, and he can tell you about the engine, everything.
I was about to say, so that was his world.
Yes.
Yes.
And then gonna say that he stands beside a couple of the cars that he wants. It's not a Toyota. It's not a Honda.
Well, you know, cars like that,
Right.
usually it's not.
He wants to stand beside the Maserati.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, Ma. So when
that's him.
Yeah, Ma. So when I graduate, this is what I'm gonna get. Okay, right.
He graduates in
May. And he wants, yeah, that's so sweet.
You see me? Hey, Brandon.
He wants the Maserati. So he dream big, but it's not gonna happen right now.
You don't know.
Okay.
You don't know what can happen between now
Long
and May.
as he pay those
It's a lot of
student
time
loans back.
between
Long as he pay those student loans
now and
back.
May. He might pay off his student loans and get his car and buy you a new one. Then what you gonna say?
Well, thank you, Lord.
Oh, all right then.
I raised the boy right.
Gee, you here over here,
Raised
right?
the boy right.
Listen.
He said today, he said, Ma, you know what? He was like, don't worry. Because I was telling him I want to go on vacation. And he said, Ma, don't worry. He said, when I'm working, he was like, you're going to go on a trip every year. He was like, you don't have to worry about that.
That's
and
what's up.
I believe him. Like, he's that type of young man.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not a kid. He's, like you said, a young man, but
He definitely is.
that's fantastic.
So, definitely send your mama on a trip. I appreciate it.
But she ain't believe you can get that car before May.
Not.
I'm just saying anything's possible. Well, I don't know what I did this weekend. It's a blur. I'm just being honest.
I'm usually with the blur.
I know. I spent a lot of time. I think my blur is because we're going through lifestyle changes in our household.
Yeah.
And so in doing so, it's really a lot of preparing and prepping. And so now it's 3 of us now on the journey, the plant-based vegan journey. And so it takes a lot to prepare. And so I spent my Saturday running from store to store because I don't just shop at one. You gotta, go to different places, or at least I do. I go to different places to be able to get some of the foods I love. And so now that I'm shopping for 3, I spent my whole day.
I would really love to
in the
see
store.
your journey with that, though. Like, maybe you can do a Facebook Live for us to see that journey, because a lot of times, when you want to eat healthy, right? And it's very expensive, and for somebody that doesn't do the plant-based vegan diet, but I'm trying to do a little healthier, maybe you might see some good deals or some good buys in different places that someone that doesn't do it on a regular might need to see. So you should go live with that.
Again? Did you say go live?
I definitely did.
Okay. I mean, I go live every Monday night.
That's not
But
bad.
anybody that follows me know I rarely ever go live. But that's something I consider
like
doing.
on your
Like I have
journey
some
to the
footage.
different-
Maybe I'll share some of the footage.
That would be
'cause
nice.
I do keep footage to document the journey.
Yeah.
And I did promise you guys. So
You did.
I'm sorry. I did promise you guys that I
You
would
did.
keep you guys updated on my journey. So I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better with getting you guys some footage and sharing my journey along the
Encouraging
way.
you encourages me, right?
Absolutely.
So encourage us. We encourage each other.
Did she just get on me?
Because she's always calling
On
me out, isn't
national-
she, G3?
Yeah.
All the time.
I mean, should I be in this conversation?
I about to say, I mean, really, BFF, you
always-
want to join this conversation?
Yeah, she's always calling me out.
Yeah, really.
So, yes, I'm calling
It's
her out.
okay. I'll eat mine. I apologize. You are right. I admit when I am wrong. I admit. You are right. I
So we'll see
promise
that coming up
that I would document the journey
soon.
and I will do that. I'm not promising you live, but I promise I will document the journey and start sharing that with you guys to help you guys through your process too. Sometimes my head, look at the faces. That's my job. I'm gonna get it together for you. I'm
excited for you,
Thank you.
and I'm always looking forward to hearing, the journey, because, it is something that I would love to start to move toward.
Yeah.
And get away from that bacon.
Absolutely. And it's funny because you're right. I encourage people with it
Come on,
all day long, quite often. But I will. I'll bring in the B3 family on the journey too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But we have a very amazing show tonight for you guys.
Yeah.
All the way from Atlanta, Georgia, we have, look, I normally call them by their names, but we have the Robinsons in the house of Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart, that will be joining us very shortly. And we also keeping in mind of what is going on now in the world. We have Vernessa Blackwell in the house, the grief expert and strategist, that will be going over tips, and I don't want to call them tricks, but tips for how to maneuver and journey through the grief process. So
exactly.
We look forward to talking to them both. But you know what we have to do before we go any further? We got to take that quick break. And on the other side, we'll be right back with Katina and Ronnie Robinson. This is B to the Third Power here on Urban Style Media. G3, baby.
Take it.
Do what you do. Official! Coming September the 13th, 2020, the ladies of B to the Third Power want to invite you to be a part of the first annual B3rdPower Community of Champion Awards, officially sponsored by Global Executive Staffing. We're looking for donors, sponsors, and vendors to help make this event a fabulous affair. If you'd like to be a part of this monumental event, email us at b3rdpower@gmail.com. This is an affair you don't want to miss. B3rdPower Community of Champion Awards. Be there. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
My name is Denzel Bennett, CEO of Urban Style Media. I started this entity to give nonprofits, small businesses, an opportunity to display their gift in giving people the ability to live their dream. People that wanted to make a difference in the community oftentimes didn't have a platform, whatever's in their heart, or whatever they want to do from a media standpoint in terms of directors, producers, musicians. We want to allow everyone to have a conduit to display their craft. Currently we have 7 shows. The collaboration aspect of our platform is expanding every day. We encourage people to go for their dreams, and so in order to feed the community, we need to expand our base. And expanding our base, we want to allow more people have an opportunity to come on air to talk about their initiatives. We've been open approximately 5 months, and in that time span, people have shown up willing to serve. It's been beyond my wildest expectations. The people that have shown up have been dedicated, have gone beyond and above the call of duty. We're going to continue to pursue community objectives and initiatives. We want to be a staple in the community. Our slogan is Imagine Us. So imagine us being there for you and your dreams to help us serve the community in the best way possible from a media standpoint.
Welcome back to B to the Third Power here on Urban Style Media. Remember, because I forgot to remind you before we went to break, remember to like, love, and share this episode because you never know whose life you're going to bless.
That's right.
I even got another one.
You added something?
I did. I'm adding one more. And be sure to follow so you don't miss an episode in the future.
Like, love, share.
And follow.
That's right.
All right. Well, we're super excited this evening to have in the house with us, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, Miss Katina and Mr. Ronnie Robinson of Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart Ministries. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. Wonderful. Bubbly.
I see you, bubbly. I love you guys so much. Yes, look at them. They color coordinated. Listen, this is how in tune they are with each other, y'all.
That's how we do it. I'm with my bones. See, that's what you gotta understand. Right. This is my best friend.
Yes.
Gotta do it that way.
Absolutely. I cannot wait for everyone to get to know you guys the way that we have gotten to know you. So, just to start, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to even come up with the name Bone of My Bone, Marriage from the Heart.
Okay, it's so basically God put a mandate on us, first of all, to start a marriage ministry. And so upon doing so, we sit down and we went through names after names after names, just trying to really hear from God and get that right feel, right? And so at first, we originally named it Bone to Bone. Right. But then upon further research and me being in the medical field, you know, I was like, but a bone to a bone causes friction.
Right. Yes.
So when I realized that, I was like, well, no, let's go strictly Bible. Yes. And in Genesis, of course, it tells us bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. So that's where the bone of my bone came from. And then God also gave us the fact that most of the time in marriages or in relationships, period, the reason a lot of conflict rises is because issues of the heart. And so he gave us the scripture, Matthew 6:21, which says, for where your treasure is, there is your heart. There your heart may be also.
And that's where I step in. This lady here, this is my treasure. God blessed me with her. And the thing he wants us to do is set the presence of marriages. And to have my best friend, my love, my lover, everything with me to make this happen, I am going to do and be obedient to Christ. Whatever he wants us to do as a marriage couple, we're going to do it.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I love it.
So that was the inspiration behind it. You know, like I said, a lot of time when we hear from God, he gives us bits and parts. So we don't always get the full download instantly. And so sometimes we have to go back and sit before him and, you know, get the rest of it. And so that's what brought about that name. And oh my God, you know, it's just powerful in itself because it's the word of God. Because we're you know, really true believers in putting the word of God on everything. And so at first, you know, we were like, you know, do we want to put ministry behind it, or do we want to just, you know, leave it marriage of the heart as it is? But God said marriage is a ministry. So you can't have a marriage and teaching about marriage without, you know, tying in that it's a ministry.
Exactly. And not compromising. See, this marriage we want to set the presence on the married couples. Do not compromise. Always put Christ first. Yes. Put him first in your marriage, because he can help you. He can help you through the valley and the peace of things, because every marriage gonna have its troubles, regardless of what the topic is or what genre it is, whether it's the kids causing trouble or whatever it may be. But God is first in your marriage. You can't go wrong, because if you went wrong, I believe if you went wrong, that makes him a lie. But if you got him first, it can't go wrong. You can't go. So right. If anything, it would be you pulling yourself from under the umbrella. You know what I mean? So if you keep your marriage under that umbrella, you can do whatever you want to do in a marriage.
You're so right. I love it, and I know that your marriage ministry has other tags to it. So tell us more about the blended family.
Yes.
Okay, so talking about the blended family, when we got married, it was so funny because we really sit down and we're such best friends. And like, I feel like within a marriage, like that is like a very strong component that needs to take place. Before you get married, I really feel like you ought to become friends and be best of friends, because to me, a friendship has a different respect than just a relationship sometimes. Yes, and so if you're already friends and then you go into marriage, you got that respect for that relationship, that friendship, and then you got those vows that you made before God and for all the people, right? Right. And so we knew going into our marriage with a blended family that there would be challenges, because of course, if you got a blended family, you got other baby daddies or baby mamas that's not in the mix of that, right? Right. And so you're going to deal with those challenges, especially our children were young. Our youngest were really young. They were like 4 and 5. Our two youngest when we first got married, and the other one was 7 and 11. And so, you know, we got together right at the pivotal part of them teenage years finna hit.
Oh, wow.
And so when it comes to a blended family in those teenage years, I think that's where all of this started happening. Right. Because they love to feel themselves, you know, and kind of feel themselves, smell themselves, as the old people used to say. And so when they already smelling themselves, one of the first things usually is going to come out their mouth is, "You're not my bio dad," or "You're not my bio mom," or something like that. So you're going to deal with those challenges. And it's always best if you have a relationship with the other parent and they kind of work together as a team with you, because when it's not teamwork of the other child's parent on either side, then that's when you really deal with some headache. And we've had a combination. It started out really, really rough dealing with that, and then as the years went by, we all became where we could work together and co-parent, as they say, and it all worked itself out.
Ladies, can I say something to the guys on this?
You sure can, yeah.
A blended family. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm speaking to you out there. If you fall in love with that lady, fall in love with the bundle. Yeah. Don't fall in love with just that lady. You fall in love with the bundle. And what I mean by the bundle, you love those kids like they're your kids. They become your spiritual kids. They become part of you. And you step up to the plate and love the whole package, not just the female of the family, but love and embrace that bundle and care for those kids like they are yours. And I guarantee you, they will bless you in the future. You will see the outcome of what they want to do in life, and the way you train them, the way that you bring them up, it's all about the loving the bundle and not just the lady of the. I fell in love with her and her kids, so now they my kids. So I embraced that whole circle of things, and that's why we were where we are today, because the love that I showed.
I was going to say that is such a key component. So I'm glad you guys brought that up, that when you get in a relationship, you know, once you have kids and then you get into another relationship with someone other than their biological parents, it is important that you know that you can't accept the mother or the father without the child, because that puts a lot of strain on the relationship as it is. Like in a good relationship, you're going to go through, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But to go through and then have the extras all because you don't want to embrace or encourage, it makes it so much more harder to have a relationship. And eventually you're putting that person in the place where they have to choose between you or their children. And I think that's a very unfair place to put your significant other.
It definitely takes a level of maturity.
Yeah, it does.
So with the couple, it takes a level of maturity.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes, you know, and I'm sure that you guys can vouch for this, but oftentimes, depending on the mother and the father and how they're handling things, right, will rub off on the children. Right.
Yes.
So if you're allowing your mate to say, I'm not going to do anything with your son, that's your son, I'm going to let his father handle him. Right. And you're allowing that type of division to happen, then you're always going to have that type of division.
That division.
So true.
You have to start like when they're young. Like I said, we were blessed that we at least when we got married, they were still young, where they were not at that teenage stage, that rebellion stage. So they were listening and going by what we were guiding them with. And when it came to bringing all of us together, as all the parents together, we just had to learn to work together and not try to talk the kids against the other parent and stuff like that. Like that was never a challenge for me. I would never badmouth, you know, my children's father in front of them or say things about him, because my thing was always, as they get older, they'll find out who that person is. You ain't got to corrupt them. You ain't got to persuade them. Let them live their life and they will find out. And that's exactly, you know, what happened. And so, you know, it's just about, like you said, maturity, but it takes God leading you, because it's not easy. Like it is. It was many times I would tell him, I said, baby, so you better be thankful I really, really love you, because this baby mama drama that we dealing with, like, it's a bit much. Right. But it was a part of it, and I knew, you know, that we would have those issues, but we were able to work them all through. And, you know, the thing of it is, that's the reason it's so important in relationships to know who you're having your kids by, because like I've explained, we have grandchildren now, and we've explained to our children, like, when you have a baby by somebody, you are with them for life. They don't go away just because you get grown, because then you get the kids, when they get grown, then they get married, then they start having kids, and so all the parents are going to want to be there to experience that. So you're stuck with those everybody in the blended family for life. Like, they don't go nowhere. Right. And so it's either y'all mature and get it together, or it's just going to be some ugly family get together. Right. Exactly.
On a regular
ugly family get together.
Right.
I like that.
On a regular. Well, one of the other things that we absolutely love about you guys is your Friday night date nights.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. On social, let's talk about it. It is the cutest thing ever. And I love it because it is a constant reminder. But tell us about the Friday night date nights.
Okay, so that started, like I said, because we came together with smaller children, and we didn't ever want to lose ourselves. So many times as parents, and I know mothers in particular, like, our life revolves around the stuff that the kids are involved in. And so we made ourselves a vow that we would always make time for each other. And so literally when we got married, and even when the kids were younger, we had delegated babysitters that we trusted and we would leave the kids with, and we always had Friday night date night.
Right.
And then we will always have Saturday as family day. So we always let the kids know, yes, mom and dad is going to go celebrate mom and daddy.
Right.
But tomorrow it's all about family. We're going to do whatever we want to do as a family. And also, Ronnie would have date nights with the girls. You know, just father and daughter, each individual, because we got 3 girls. And then I would have a date night with the girls also. And then I would have date night with my son. So we always gave them their individual time. We always made time for us first. And then we also had family time. And that's what they grew up to. And now when I tell you it's a blessing to see our young adults, because our youngest daughter is actually 21. And we are such a close-knit family. Like we always, all the holidays, we make time to get together, even though we're all in different states now.
Right.
We make a point to get together because we started with them when they were young, and now they look forward to it.
Yes.
And so with our date night, we always remain passionate about it. Sometimes we didn't feel like it. Sometimes we just wanted to stay in and say, let's make it a Netflix night, but the kids are here. So this ain't our time. So we would have to go away, even if we just did picnics in the park, even if we just went. Sometimes we just had moments where we just need to vent to each other about where we are, because we try to make our date night where we not talk about the kids, not talk about jobs, none of that. Our date night has to be about us. So we talk about where we are. Like
I love it.
Well, we need to go spiritually.
Exactly.
Spiritually.
And personally, like if I was getting overwhelmed because of a situation with one of the kids, I would be like, babe, I just feel overwhelmed now. So I need you to pull up, you know, in this area. So not necessarily talking about the kids, but talking about how we could be better for each other first, and second as parents.
I love that. You know what? Because literally you're checking in with each other on a regular basis. Like instead of quarterly or you're literally checking in each week with each other. And I like that.
And it's something that we really talk about a lot, and that's that healthy relationship component, right? And it's about making sure that you're addressing them directly with your individual dates, right?
Yes.
And you're giving them that attention they need. It helps with their emotions. It helps with their communication. It helps with their being able to trust, trust you. It has a whole round of full effect.
I know exactly what you're saying. It's like everybody gets their individual time so they don't feel left out.
Nobody feels left out. And that whole sense of balance for them, I applaud you. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing, because our children are our future.
Ladies, I want to say this, though. There were times we would have the group sessions to just that night, it would be bawling and crying and just praying for one another, and just releasing things that you're dealing with, what they were dealing with outside the house, with that peer pressure from their friends and all this. It would be great times, because we would love to see them do that. Vent to us, where we can know what to pray about, what to intercede about. So it was great for us to do things like that. And I want to say one thing about my son. He have blessed me so much, and I can say this: he is a gospel rapper, Elder One, and maybe I'm putting a plug in. I'm not trying to. I'm giving him props though. But he promised me, the way I raised him, and he respect me. He promised me that every song that he write, Jesus will be in it.
I know that's
he would not compromise. Not start going to this contemporary, not saying anything about Jesus, but really saying a good song type of make you feel good deal. But no, he said he will put Jesus in it every time he write a song. So that blesses me.
And one other thing I wanted to mention, we also always would have family meetings.
That's right.
And so like if they felt like we were slipping or slacking as parents or whatever, we allowed them to vent to us and tell us, okay, like, what is it about mama you don't like right now? Or what is the daddy doing that's making y'all, butt heads? So we would have those open meetings with them, because we didn't ever want them to feel like they didn't have a voice. Because, if you make children feel like they don't have a voice as a child, then that grows up to them, and then they be like this, have self-esteem issues, or feel like they can't open their mouth for themselves. So that was always important to us too, is to allow our children to have their own voice without being disrespected.
Yes.
I love it.
You ain't gonna disrespect us.
Right. Us the way they
you can tell us the truth.
Right.
You know,
and that way they know that
iron
they
sharpens iron.
Yes.
And that way they know that they can't play them against each other.
Yeah.
I love it, Katina and Ronnie. You want to tell us
how people can get in contact with you guys?
Okay,
because we could go on
all the social media. I'm sorry.
We were just saying we could go on and on, but we know that you guys have to run, and so do we. But how can people get in contact with you? We know that you do coaching and that you have events and stuff coming up. How can people keep in contact with you guys?
Okay, so we are on all the social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. We're on there as Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart.
Awesome.
And then that's our email address also, Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart @gmail.com. And so what we have planned to upcoming events, we do couples night out. Like literally we showed couples how to do date night. Like, so you would be surprised at so many couples that don't take the time out for themselves. And to me, that was just mind blowing to us, because that's all, it was like second nature for us. And so we would have events where we would teach them, like, it's the simple things. It's not nothing complicated. Like literally sometimes we would sit down and do the love language test. Like me and my husband, just to find out, like, are we on point with a love language? So it's just the little simple stuff that you can do that means so much. And so our goal is to do a marriage retreat. We hope to do it by the end of this year, if not next year. But since
conference,
yes, a conference, because we've just relocated from one state to another, so we're kind of trying to get all of our things back lined up and ready to go. But yes, we're doing conferences. We're starting back up the couples date night events
and couples retreat.
Anything to help marriages. We're all about
and engaged couples.
And you know what?
People just dating.
Because we are certified marriage counselors, and we are ordained ministers. And so I know we didn't get into all of that. We talked a little bit about the blended family.
We can definitely bring you guys back for what do we do? The Q&A.
The Q&A.
I think we should have you guys back for open Q&A.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then people can write in and give their questions.
And then, and I would love to.
One of the things that a lot of couples seem like they draw to us is because we've both been married before. So we know what it's like when the marriage don't work.
Yes.
Or you're not with the God-ordained person, and we know what it's like to be married to the God-ordained man or woman of God that He has ordained for you. And so, we just love on God.
I told you they're a great couple. You guys have a whole box of things that we can just take time and unpack. But we are so grateful for you guys joining us tonight. It has certainly been a pleasure having you. We always love to talk to you. But make sure you reach out and follow. What do we always say? Like love, and follow and share information on Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart Ministries. Make sure you connect with them so you don't miss their upcoming events. But as always, time flies when you're having fun. And what do we have to do? We got to go take that quick break. But when we come back on the other side, we'll be sitting down with Miss Vernessa Blackwell, talking about how we can journey through the grief process. This is B3rdPower here on Urban Style Media. G3, you know what to do.
Baby.
Coming September the 13th, 2020, the ladies of B3rdPower want to invite you to be a part of the first annual B3rdPower Community of Champion Awards, officially sponsored by Global Executive Staffing. We're looking for donors, sponsors, and vendors to help make this event a fabulous affair. If you'd like to be a part of this monumental event, email us at b3rdpower@gmail.com. This is an affair you don't want to miss. B3rdPower Community of Champion Awards. Be there. Global Executive Staffing provides top-level executive staffing to federal and private sector companies globally at the most competitive price. They are experts in coordinating and expediting projects from design to development. Global Executive Staffing is a Department of Veterans Affairs, Center for Veterans, certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business. To connect with Global Executive Staffing, go to www.gestaff.com.
CEO of Urban Style Media. I started this entity to give nonprofits, small businesses, an opportunity to display their gift in giving people the ability to live their dream. People that wanted to make a difference in the community oftentimes didn't have a platform, whatever's in their heart, whatever they want to do from a media standpoint, in terms of directors, producers, musicians. We want to allow everyone to have a conduit to display their craft. Currently we have 7 shows. The collaboration aspect of our platform is expanding every day. We encourage people to go for their dreams. And so in order to feed the community, we need to expand our base. And expanding our base, we want to allow more people to have an opportunity to come on air to talk about their initiatives. We've been open approximately 5 months. And in that time span, people have shown up willing to serve. It's been beyond my wildest expectations. The people that have shown up have been dedicated, have gone beyond and above the call of duty. We're going to continue to pursue community objectives and initiatives. We want to be a staple in the community. Our slogan is, imagine us. So imagine us being there for you and your dreams to help us serve the community in the best way possible from a media standpoint.
Welcome back to B3rdPower. Make sure that you like, love, and share tonight's show.
And follow.
And follow. So we're back with Miss Vernessa Blackwell. Hello, how are you?
Welcome.
The founder of the Grief Hotline. I was about to say house. The Grief Hotline. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. No problem. We definitely, we're going through a lot here. With of course, the death of superstar Kobe Bryant. People are losing people every day.
Yes.
And I just definitely thought it would be great to have someone to come on to talk to us about this process and just to give us some strategies on pushing through.
Absolutely.
Well, that's why I am here. My name is Vernessa Blackwell. I'm known as the grief strategist. I have had to deal with a lot of grief in my life. So Kobe's is definitely a tragedy. And it's hard for us to accept because it was so sudden. And there was so many people involved.
Yes.
When we look back at Kobe lived a great life, and thank God for the legacy that he left.
Right.
People, I think, now we have to accept, you see what I'm saying, and stick together. Learn to lean on your friends and your family when you're dealing with grief. A lot of people have to learn the stages. What are the stages of grief?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those stages.
And that's exactly what Sherri and I were talking about last week, is that in his passing, one thing that we realized is that people go through this every day, and nobody knows their name or who their families are simply because they're not in the limelight. But imagine how many people are actually going through the grief process
Already.
Already, yes, and don't realize that there are multiple stages. It's not just you grieve and you get over it. There's actually a process to that. And so Sherri was like, T, we got to get a grief specialist on here because people need this. And so we're looking for ways that you can help us get through the grief process.
Okay. Well, like I said, starting with, because the grief process is different for everyone. Some people take longer than others to get through it. So you can start with, some people takes 4 to 6 weeks and they start to feel better, start to learn to adjust to their new norm. Because your life has changed without your loved one. So you have to find that new norm. What's new? What's next for me?
Right.
And then sometimes it can take 6 weeks to 4 years before you find it.
Some people really get stuck on a stage.
Yes.
What stage have you noticed that people often get stuck at?
The denial, because they can't accept, this person is gone. My loved one is, my mom has passed away, and you see what I'm saying? They just stuck. Like Christmas, holidays, since everything has changed, especially like real close families.
Right.
And you find it a lot with either the youngest child or the person that was closest to them, because grief affects people by relationships. So it's the relationship that you had with the individual.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the grief helpline, I understand you have a book and a workbook, or is it just a book?
No, I have a grief kit.
A grief kit. Okay.
So when I first started, I had a devotional. I started with a devotional, and then God showed me that I was to create a whole box to help individuals with grief and loss. So I created the journal. I have a journal, a workbook to go with the devotional, and they kind of walk you through the stages of grief, but it's a 12-week process.
Okay.
And then I have a coloring book. I added the coloring book because a lot of times people can't focus when they're dealing with grief. So they can't focus when they're dealing with grief. So that is one of the reasons I added the coloring book.
Okay.
To help them learn to concentrate.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
And that is interesting that you use the coloring book.
Right.
But in therapy, they often use creative ways to get people to open up. So that totally makes sense.
And I was about to say, like, a lot of people now are using coloring books. They have adult coloring books.
I love them.
Right. And what does it do for you, though?
It just really gives me like a sense of just a peace. It calms my mind because sometimes my mind is constantly going. When you have a creative mind, you're constantly going. So that adult coloring book really just gives me time to just
focus.
Yeah, focus, because the mind is always going.
See,
so yeah,
that's
adult
why she's
coloring.
The grief expert.
That's
Look at
right.
that.
The
She
coloring book. I love it. Yeah, I love it. So tell us more about about your product. I see you have another book here.
Yeah, so this one is my last. This was an anthology that I did with 20 women.
Okay.
And they were sharing their stories on grief and loss. So that one was Your Wings Were Ready, But My Heart Was Not. I started a collaboration, and we each of us shared a tribute to our loved ones. Mine was about my brother Gary. My daughter wrote about my sister, and some of my girlfriends in there. They should, different people share their story on grief and loss.
Yeah, I have a friend right now who is struggling through the grief process, and I know that no words can ever, be of comfort. You know, we do it. But what do you suggest that we do for our loved ones or friends that are kind of stuck in that grieving process? Because like you said, it happens at everybody's time, but what can we do? Right. Because even with the death of Kobe, and it was so many people that were affected, and so many families, you can't help but feel for those families. Right. You can't help but feel, and to be able to explain it to your children, and to be able to, explain some things, and being able to just be there for your friends. Any suggestions on how we go about doing any of that?
So sometimes it's just being there.
Just being there.
Yes, because after the funeral, a lot of people think, okay, I was here to support you for the funeral, and we brought, food or whatever, but it's after the funeral that you really need the support. So reach out, take them out to eat, break bread, movies or whatever, just so to relax, and let them talk, let them express themselves. Because a lot of times they don't know that they're still grieving. The funeral is gone, and they just stuck in these roller coaster like emotions. Because sometimes grief comes like fatigue, insomnia, weight gain, because a lot of people eat, and then a lot of people lose weight because they're not eating.
Right. And that was the other thing that I wanted to say. So I want to, if you don't mind, go back and just visit just a little bit. What are all of the stages? Because we did talk about denial being one that they get stuck on, but what are all of the stages of grief so that it can help us, identify if we're experiencing grief, as well as those that may be going through it, being able to identify as well.
Where they are.
Yeah.
So a lot of times people are angry. They get angry after a death, because like I said, they don't feel like they had enough time.
Okay.
And then a lot of times it's bargaining, because you want, God, if I just would have had 6 more months or 3 more weeks, with my mom, I could have told her so-and-so, right? And then it's depression. People start to get depressed.
Yeah.
But when you start dealing with denial, they go into shock. You see what I'm saying? Still shocked, especially with Kobe's death. People are still in shock.
Right.
So are there 5 stages, or because you always hear 7?
Yes,
so,
and that's pain. They added pain.
Okay.
Yes, pain and depression with
Okay.
Stages,
Okay.
Yeah. And it's good that she said break bread. And here's why. I always tell people, when it first happens, everybody is calling. Everyone is checking up on you.
Yes.
Everyone's, how you're doing. What do you need? Let me know if you need something. But it's after the funeral, after the memorial services, after that it gets completely quiet.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where most people are forgotten.
Yes, and that's where they feel because they don't know. Nobody's reaching out anymore.
Right. Miss Blackwell, I struggle with being there. I want to be there for other people, but you don't know what to say.
Right.
And so it's always like this awkward moment for me, because anybody that's human, when people lose somebody, you want to give them their space.
Right.
And that's always what I was taught, is that you give people their space. You don't go overcrowding them, and so I've always just allowed people to have their space, but I hear that, we want to be there. Right. So, that's definitely something that I'll have to kind of work on, because I've always just believed in, okay, I'm just going to let you have your space. I check in on you. I'll call, see how you're doing. But I guess, yes, you should reach out and kind of pull them out of maybe that depression that they might be.
And the other thing that I've learned is don't ask how they're doing.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
Like, just don't ask.
Yeah.
So I think my language has changed to, I'm praying for you. I'm thinking of you.
I'm thinking of you.
Let me know if you want some company and stuff like that, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The thought of losing a family member is devastating to me. is like breathtaking, and they're still here, and it takes my breath away.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't want to imagine, but I can imagine that if you've lost that loved one, it's breathtaking. You know what I mean?
It is. It's hard. And just like I said, and I think that's the problem. A lot of people haven't been through it. So if you haven't experienced it, you see what I'm saying, then you understand it when you feel it. Because it's something that it's a feeling. It's an emotion.
Yeah.
And when you say you don't know what to say, just say, I'm here for you.
I'm here.
You know, I'm here for you. If you need someone to talk to, I am here for you. You know, feel free to reach out. I don't care what time of night. You know, text me. You know. Yeah. Just and check on them because, like I said, they don't know how to adjust either.
Right.
And that, like you said, now this is their new norm. So it's a whole readjustment that they have to get used to. And you know, especially for our young children who are seeing a lot of this on the news with our superstar passed on, and seeing that it was so many families affected and involved. I encourage you to maybe get in touch with Miss Blackwell so that you can get yourself the grief hotline book and kit. I keep saying the helpline, but it's the hotline.
No, it's the other way. The helpline.
So it's okay.
Helpline.
All right. But
yeah, we get what you're saying. So whether it's the current, because it did hit a lot of people hard with him passing, whether they knew him personally or not. You know, just the reality of it's made a lot of people take a step back. But
looking at your own mortality, your family.
But for those of you who have lost someone who is still going through the grief process, I don't want to say struggling because everyone grieves differently. But if you're still going through the grief process and you need assistance, or you just, you know, you need help with getting through it, please make sure you reach out to Miss Vernessa Blackwell. And how can people get in contact with you?
So I'm known as the Grief Strategist on Facebook. I have a website. It's www.griefhelpline.coach. I'm on Facebook as the Grief Strategist. So please feel free to reach out.
Well, I'm so glad we were able to have you come and join us in the studio. We know that this is a process. This is a daily process. This is not just because of the tragedy that has happened, but this is a daily thing that we're going to go through. So I'm going to encourage everyone to reach out to Miss Blackwell, but also reach out to your loved ones. Let them know that you care. Like she said, reach out, visit, take them out for some tea, something. So I appreciate you for coming on and sharing that information with us.
Thank you so much.
And even after next week, maybe we'll, you know, do a part 2 in this whole process.
Yeah, maybe we can do that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But as always,
I'm gonna get some folks some coloring books.
Good.
No, really. I think that people underestimate
the power of coloring.
Yeah, and if someone were to just give you one of those adult coloring books in colored pencils, you probably look at it and be like, I don't want.
I didn't. I love when
this is totally
gift me those.
I totally
I'm like, oh, you said I need to focus. Go on, give me some
And
more.
I totally wouldn't have bought it for myself. But you know what? Let me try this. And you just never know. So I think that would be nice.
But as always, that hour flies by so fast.
It does.
It does. But we've had an awesome show.
We really have.
We so appreciate saying thank you again to Katina and Ronnie Robinson of Bone of My Bone, Marriage of the Heart, for joining us tonight, giving us those great tips on date nights and blending your families. And we definitely say thank you so much to Miss Vernessa Blackwell for coming out and sharing with us steps to getting through the grief process.
Yes.
Remember, she does have a complete grief kit that you can get to help you through that process. So please make sure you reach out to her on social media and go to and or email her at thegriefhelpline@gmail.com.
Exactly.
But as always, time flies when you're having fun, but we gotta go, y'all.
But before we go,
yes,
don't forget to save the date for the B3rdPower Community of Champion Awards we're going to be hosting on September the 13th.
Yes, be there. Make sure you reach out to B3rdPower@gmail.com if you're interested in being a sponsor, a donor, or a vendor. That's B3rdPower@gmail.com. Remember, today is a great day to make a difference in the lives of those that are around you. I'm T Lynn Tate.
And I'm Sherri Cook.
And this has been B to the Third Power here on Urban Style Media. G3, baby. Take us on home.